Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm going to show you the activities on Tuesday's Learning Mat. Tuesday is math's activity is called Teach Me That, and it's talking about 2D and 3D shapes. I know we haven't gotten to that yet this year in our math book, but maybe you remember some things about shapes from last year when you were in first grade. If not, I've written down a few things for us to keep in mind for our lesson today. So 2D shapes have sides and they have a vertex, and that's all the points on that shape. 3D shapes have faces, edges, which are like the sides in a 2D shape, and they also have vertices or points. So I'm going to show you an example of a 2D shape and a 3D shape. So I don't know if you can see it, but I have a piece of paper here. It's a little sticky note. And if I were going to say how many sides and vertices this shape had, I would just count them up. So I'm going to trace along so you can see me. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and it would have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices or 4 points. Now I'm going to change the directions a little bit on our assignment. Maybe you can find a few things around your house that are 2D, and you can tell the adult that is home with you how many sides and how many vertices or points that shape has. Instead of you kind of teaching your mom or dad, you can just tell them the attributes of that shape. So go ahead and see if you can find 2 or 3 2D shapes around your house and describe the attributes to them. That's the sides and the vertices. Next, I'm going to show you a 3D shape, and I was just hunting in my pantry, boys and girls, and I found this box of muffin mix. Okay, now a face, let me see if I can make that a little bit more clear. There we go. A face is the flat part, okay, on each side. So if I were going to count the faces on this box of corn mix, I could take the top 1, the bottom 2, the front 3, the back 4, and both sides 5 and 6. So this shape would have 6 faces. Now I would go ahead and count the edges. Now this part is where it gets a little tricky, and you might need help from an adult to help you keep track. Okay? Again, the edges are kind of like the sides on a 2D shape. So all the straight lines. So the top would have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if the top has 4, the bottom will also have 4 edges. Okay, now once you count a side, you can't count them again. So that was 8. The sides, 9, 10, and the other side, 11, and 12. Okay, now I can't count this one again because I already counted it when I counted the top, and I'm not going to count the bottom short side again because I already counted that when I counted the bottom of the box. Okay, so this shape would have 12 edges. Now I can count the vertice, or how many points this shape has, and this has 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, maybe you can go ahead and search your house for other 3D shapes. Maybe you can find 2 or 3 of these around your house, and you can tell or show the adult that is home with you how many faces, edges, and vertices that shape has. So maybe you're going to find 3 2D shapes and 3 3D shapes for a total of 6 altogether. Okay, remember you might need a little bit of help with this part because we haven't learned that yet this year in math. All right, moving on to our ELA activity for today. It is tap and write. And it says, today you will stretch and write a list of words. Read the following words and have your child stretch and write the sounds they hear. Remember to remind them of the helper E at the end. All right, so what I would say for this activity is it's best to have a piece of paper and a pencil, pen, whatever you'd like them to use as they write each word. So the first word is 5. As I sound out the word 5, I'm going to write a line for each sound that I hear, not necessarily each letter. So let me show you with the word 5. In 5, I hear f, I, v. 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and write 5. F, I, v. Now this is what they're saying. Remember to remind your child about the silent E at the end of the word because that E makes this I say its name. Now an example for the next word goes like this. The word is crane. So I hear cr, a, n, crane. Now the first sound has a blend. Cur, C-R, cur, A, n. Now how do I get that A to say its name? I have to add that silent E at the end, and that silent E does not get a line because I do not hear that letter at the end of the word. I'll do one more example for you. The word is tune. As I sound out that word, I would write t, u, n, and I would write the letters t, u, n, and remind your student how you get the letter U to say its name, and it would be by adding the silent E at the end. You can do this for the rest of the words in the list. I'll move on to showing you what you need for your writing today. Today on our choice board, it says write a story about a basketball game. Now boys and girls, you can make up a story about a basketball game. You can write about a time that maybe you have went to a basketball game, or maybe you're going to write about a time where you watched one on TV. Okay, now this can be a high school basketball game. It can be an NBA professional basketball game or a college basketball game. Maybe you went to UT or Bowling Green to watch a basketball game. Any of those are fine. I wrote some reminders on our paper today for things that I would like you to include in your writing. I would love, boys and girls, if you would start with a bold beginning. Remember, we wrote that the other day in our writing. A bold beginning can start with a fun fact, an I wonder, have you ever, imagine this. It can start with a sound. Make sure you include at least, this is the minimum, 5 good sentences, capital letters where they're appropriate, a punctuation at the end of your sentence. Make sure you're sounding out the letters in the words that you don't know how to spell. Okay? And make sure you tell the events in order. Okay? Don't tell me that you started eating popcorn and then you went to the basketball game. Okay? Make sure you tell me that you were either at the basketball game and then you went to get popcorn and then you cheered on the team and then maybe you tell me that you went home. Okay? But at least 5 good sentences, and make sure our sentences are 6 to 7 words long. No easy peasy kindergarten sentences here, okay? All right, the last thing I'm going to show you is on our fiction choice board. It says predict. Before you read, make a prediction. What do you think the story will be about? Now this can go a few different ways. If you're reading a shorter picture book, maybe you can look at the front cover and tell me what you think it's going to be about, or read the title and make a prediction of what you think is going to happen based on the title. If you are reading a chapter book, maybe you're going to look at the title of the chapter. If there are titles for each chapter, maybe that's going to give you a clue about what the next chapter is going to be about. Or maybe you already are reading the chapter book and you already know a little bit about the story, but what do you think is going to happen next? You can do your recording on the page that says predict. Okay. And there is a sentence starter for you. It says, I predict the story will be about. You can finish that sentence and then tell me why you made this prediction. I made this prediction because... What were you thinking when you made this prediction? Is it because you looked at the picture on the front? Did you read the title? Because you already know a little bit about the story and you might think you know what happens at the end. Now there is a predict bonus. You can do this with the same story, or you can save this activity for another day. It says, after reading the story, think about your prediction. Was your prediction correct or incorrect? What did the story end up being about? So you can say, yes, I was correct because, or I was incorrect because. Okay, so make sure you have that sentence starter in there and then finish the rest of your sentence. Please do not just write yes or no. Okay? That is it for today, boys and girls. I will see you the next time.